Today we're going to go fancy, sweet, but not less classic, with a rolled up log. The recipes for all those goodness are going to be linked down below. You can also find it on vegansweetaddiction.com. And feel free to like, comment and share our videos. It really do help us a lot. You can also subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming video. An hazelnut and apple Christmas Yule log cake, or as we call it in France, une bûche de Noël. A layer of sweet sponge cake topped with some crunchy hazelnuts. Some creamy hazelnuts and almond praline paste. A super decadent hazelnut mousse. And some shiny and fine apples layered on top. Oh ma, it put me in appetite. So, with no further ado, let's jump into it. The first thing to do today will be the hazelnut and almond praline. We need to start by roasting the almond and hazelnut. If you can find Piedmont hazelnut, they would be perfect, clearly the best, but otherwise take what you can get. Toast the nuts in a roasting tray for about 6 minutes or until lightly golden. Okay, so to do that I'm going to preheat my oven to 180 Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit. Heat the sugar in a saucepan until caramelized, then put it on the hot nuts. I'm going to let them cool a little bit before jumping to the next step. First, to let the caramel cool down, and also because if you blitz hot nuts, they're going to get very oily, and that's not what I want for this recipe. I want a smooth paste with maybe a little crunchiness here and there. Remove to a food processor and blitz to your desired consistency. So that's going to stay on the side until we're ready to use it. And now we're going to make our hazelnut Genoise sponge cake. We first need to get our tin ready. And when you're looking at Yule log or Swiss roll, I would tell you to use a Swiss roll pan or at least something that looks like it. But frankly, I feel like you could get away with any regular baking tray. We're going to line it with greaseproof paper. So first of all, just give it a little bit of oil to make sure the paper sticks. And as you can see, I've cut little squares out of the corners. This is my top tip for this because you can push your greaseproof paper in and you don't have any annoying folding over the corner. So you're not going to get any sort of creases in there. I'm also going to grease it a little bit here too, just to be safe. In a bowl, I will combine all the dry ingredients and set aside. I'm going to pour the liquid ingredients over the dry ingredients and mix everything vigorously to obtain a smooth paste. it's time to pour it into our pan. So what we're going to do is just pour it all in and spread it somewhat evenly, starting from the middle and going to the outside. And now, before putting it in the oven to bake, I'm going to put some crushed hazelnut on top. It's going to get very crunchy and very tasty. It should cook for about 15 to 20 minutes, but keep an eye on it because it should not get colored. When it's starting to get golden and be soft and bouncy to the touch, it's ready to get out. Now what we're going to do is let it cool for 2 minutes because we want to roll this Yule log when it's warm, because if we leave it to cool down and then we try to roll it up, it's going to upset and it's going to crack. And I'm just going to dust it with a little icing sugar. It's just going to prevent it from sticking. Turn the hot sponge cake on the parchment paper. Then remove the paper that was used for cooking. What we've got here is a clean, slightly damp towel, because that's what we're going to use to roll our sponge. Let the sponge cake cool down at room temperature for about half an hour. Do not wait any longer, as the sponge cake will tend to break more easily. So while it cools down on the side, I'm going to get on with making our hazelnut cream. I didn't want it to bore you to death, so I did the pastry cream ahead of time. You can follow the recipe on vegansweetaddiction.com. I'm going to put the link down below. I'm going to start by working the pastry cream to make it smooth and creamy. Then add the hazelnut paste, and then the room temperature vegan butter, and whisk until it's light and fluffy. This, honestly, like muslin hazelnut cream, is probably one of the things I kept from you. It's so good. It's time. Let's see if our cake has worked. Ready? Very carefully, we're going to unroll it. Go nice and slowly. Now we're going to fill it with first the hazelnut cream, just pushing it into the sponge with a palette knife or a little spatula. And now the praline paste. Just stop maybe at 3 cm or 1 inch before the end of the mousse. And now it's time to re-roll this. But this time, obviously, we're not going to put the towel inside. And then we're going to use the towel to help us make the first couple of rolls. Ta-da! Well, I'm obviously joking, we're not done. Place a large piece of cling film on the work surface. Position the roll low. Put it in a log-shaped mold, if you want it really round, and keep it in the fridge until you're ready for the last step. The apple decor. It's maybe going an extra step, but believe me, it's worth it. Cut the apple into very thin slices using a mandolin, but beware of your finger. We want some apple slices that somehow look like that. On a piece of cling film, I'm going to position the apple slices, overlapping them slightly, in the lemon juice and then on the cling film. We're going to roll the log over the apples and wrap it tightly. I'm using some nappage or clear glaze to make it pretty and shiny. You can find the recipe down below. I'm going to pipe some hazelnut cream on top a little bit of praline paste, and put a few roasted hazelnuts to make it really pretty and festive. We've made a sumptuous vegan Yule log cake that you can make for Christmas and show that vegan doesn't mean you can get the most epic foods, chocolate, dessert or celebrations. The celebration of Yule is one of the oldest winter celebrations, consisted of an hearty feast, singing, drinking and dancing. This event celebrated at this time the arrival of the winter solstice. Indeed, as the solstice announced the arrival of a very harsh and long winter. Each household burned very big and large piece of food to keep them warm in winter. It was only in 1944 that the Christmas log we know nowadays was invented, namely a rolled log cake. It's time to give it a taste. I'm going to take a nice slice. That's a nice well. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. And see you next week for another Christmas recipe video. And until next time, take care. Bye bye.
Moi je déteste les bûches glacées. J'aime pas ça.
C'est pas glacé?
Oui.
Je fais pas de bûches glacées.
Non mais je sais, mais...
Moi aussi, je me dis en hiver il fait froid, pourquoi tu voudrais manger une bûche glacée?